Dear colleagues, my name is Isabel Núñez. I'm a PhD in the University of Cadiz, and I'm going to present a conference paper called Affective Filter for Learning a Foreign Language and the Improvement of Linguistic Attitudes. This paper is inside the symposium Socioeducative Innovation, Experiences and Research about Inclusive and Social Education from Educational Science. The most representative keywords related to this paper and associated with this theme are affective filter, anxiety, classroom environment, learning, and linguistic attitudes. Then, let's start with this paper. This research describes the approach project-based learning, or its acronym PBL, to work on a student's affective filter for learning in foreign language area by reducing the anxiety when students produce either writing or speaking, by setting up the right affective filter to a student's needs and stage, creating a pleasant atmosphere for learning. Anxiety influences on the production of students and then their involvement in the teaching learning process. The aim is to develop positive mindsets towards learning and to overcome some level disruptive behavior or short attention span towards learning a foreign language or L2. So we try to create an effective learning environment. Cooperative learning and effective collaboration are the main aims to get a communicative approach in foreign language learning, in order to promote an active communicative competence where students are active participants and agents of the teacher learning process. So, students' participation is actively promoted in this paper. PBL, or project-based learning, is an approach based on meaningful learning from the active participation of students to arouse a critical thinking towards a social topic of social demand. For example, global warming, recycling, pollution, or any topic related to gender equality. We take information communication technologies, or as we make reference to new technologies with didactic aims, learning and knowledge technologies are actively used in this paper in order to arouse that critical thinking towards a topic of social significance from a PBL, from a project-based learning. So students which receive a project-based learning methodology improve lifelong skills, that is, key competencies. Also, they develop responsibility, creativity, problem solving, self-direction, and autonomy towards their learning. Then PBL answers to this requirement by boosting symbolic learning and critical thinking, so it becomes the teaching learning process that better answers to the needs that the educational system demands to achieve a good adaptation to the present challenges of our society. PBL is related to learner-centered approach. It's far from a teacher-centered approach. It's focused on a student's needs, on a student's involvement, and offer an innovative educational experience based on problem-solving and open-minded environments. So, it's based on the treatment of the affective filter for learning by imagining another's perspective and creating positive trait attribution towards classmates through different exercises, activities, and a final task as a final product. The learning scene is described by the use of new technologies and visual material to support and describe people and say compliments inside this learning proposal to get a pleasant atmosphere of learning due to the fact that students in foreign language are a digital native generations, as for example Prensky stated in 2010. The use of visuals to support and reduce anxiety when students produce either in speaking activity or writing activities is essential to stimulate the right affective filter and reduce anxiety. The right anxiety to learn but not to have any problem in order to get involved in the lesson or in the teaching learning process. The treatment of the affective filter tries to accomplish a student's motivation and their implication in the teaching learning process. So, the treatment of this affective filter for learning and emotional education contents in foreign language learning improve group class cohesion. Then, a learning environment is stimulated. But also linguistic and communicative competence, as well as positive linguistic attitudes. Therefore, students are more involved in the lesson. They are as active participants in the learning process by taking into account their needs for learning when they produce in foreign language. Consequently, we remark on this conclusion as implications for research in education or in any future paper. So finally, this is the end of this conference paper. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you find it interesting. Bye.